Hey folks, sharpen your scissors because Hair and Fur is production ready in Unreal Engine 426. Find out how you can simulate and render true strand-based hair, fur, feathers, and more to create convincing humans, animals, and creatures. Watch this step-by-step guide from Epic evangelist Mario Palmero in our latest presentation on the Unreal Engine YouTube channel, Hair at a Strand Level. The Unreal Engine Short Film Challenge Australia is a wrap. Over 1,800 participants, many with no previous Unreal Engine experience, took part in 2 weeks of training, after which 16 finalists proceeded to create an amazing diversity of films, all created in just 6 weeks. View the full showcase of talent at vimeo.com/showcase/UE Australia and make sure you don't miss the entry that won $50,000. At CES 2021, General Motors partnered with global live brand storytelling agency Invent to reveal its electrification strategy in an immersive, mixed reality opening keynote experience. Saw GM design, engineering, and technology leadership set in a mixed reality LED arena with virtual environments powered by Unreal. The technology created a series of locations, including the Zero Theater, the Bright Drop Warehouse, and more, each of which was designed to immerse and engage the tech-savvy CES audience while telling GM's electrification story. We're thrilled to introduce Unreal Futures, a new upcoming learning series and gateway into exciting interactive 3D careers. You'll have access to free, hands-on courses from industry professionals and get to add your first real-world project to your portfolio, no experience necessary. Learn more about Unreal Futures and sign up for updates on the Unreal Engine feed. Fans of His Dark Materials can now conjure up magical companions from the hit HBO series using a new augmented reality app. Hop over to the feed to discover how Framestore is using AR to assist with mental well-being by putting personalized daemons in your pocket. Robots are in full control in the open-world action RPG Atomic Heart. Uncover details about the gritty game's development and find out how Russian developer Mundfish benefited from Unreal Engine's gameplay ability system in our tech blog. Now to say thanks to our top weekly karma earners, shoutouts to Clockwork Ocean, Ailcon01, T. Sumisaki, Shadow River, Luna Nalis, Andrew Bindra, Mama Marcis, Crewdimer, Ben Vlodke, and PKN77. When asked by DCA Studios to create a cinematic for their game Curse and Vengeance, Anderson Rohr delivered the beautiful scene you see here. Watch the full piece in the forums, get a peek at their production process, and see even more of their work on ArtStation. Set in a dystopian future, you'll fight your way through various corporations, cults, and corrupt groups in the fast-paced, top-down shooter SA Proxy. Navigate through conflict and intrigue throughout the original story, and wishlist SA Proxy on Steam. And last up is a short cinematic by the Legend of Micah called The Dragon Sisters. Bringing live-action filmmaking experience to their animated shorts really helps them pack a punch. Head to the forums to watch the full concept and share your feedback. Thanks for watching this week's News and Community Spotlight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Unreal, a weekly show where we learn, explore, and celebrate everything Unreal. I'm your host, Victor Broden, but I do want to make sure that I mention all of the amazing guests that we have on today's call. Please welcome Jesse McCulloch, Program Coordinator at Microsoft.
Hello, hello.
There we go, a little high. Sound check as well. It works out for everyone. Paul Ambrosiusen, Technical Artist from Side Effects.
Hello.
And then Mike Haggerty, Production Coordinator at GameTextures.com.
Hey, guys.
As well as fellow community manager Amanda Shade, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with.
Hi, everyone.
And last but not least, please welcome community coordinator Sam Russell.
Howdy.
All right, so as you all probably know from the title of the stream, we are going to announce the winners of the 2020 Epic MegaJam today. That's why we're here. So not really our typical cadence, but sure will be a lot of fun. We're going to play some games, talk about them. First of all, I do want to take a quick mention to make sure that we thank all of our sponsors. Some of them are on this call. Game Textures, Microsoft, as well as Side Effects have been generous enough it was the first time you participated as judges in one of the game jams. I was just curious a little bit what you thought of the process, just in general. Did you enjoy it? Is this something you'd like to do again?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. So many games, and so many of them were super fun. So.
Just to note, we did lose some of the audio on the sponsor section of that. So know that Victor said very, very positive things about all of those wonderful people. We could not be more grateful to their support and all the really amazing prizes.
And I will also make sure to mention them again, which I did say. Unfortunately, you didn't hear that, but we are going to mention them as part of the individual announcements for the finalists and the special modifiers.
Yeah.
I know Microsoft was super happy to be involved this year. This is our first year, and playing all the different XR games was super fun, and very thankful to get to take part.
And Mike, this is, I don't even know, how many years have you guys been part of this?
Since it started, pretty much. I think we missed the very first one, and we've been involved ever since. This is my first time being on stream. I've been a part of the judging for the last couple ones, and I don't know, it's always been a blast getting to play through the games. It's very motivating for your own dev, I think. I think everybody will probably agree, getting to see what people make.
Paul made a really good point earlier as we were talking last week in regards to, when you get to play such a wide amount of games that have been made in such a short amount of time. Paul, you brought up a little anecdote about that.
Which part? The part about the emerging gameplay?
That, as well as the fact that you discovered a couple of things that you realized that you were doing that you immediately discovered when you were playing through.
Yeah, right. So, while looking at all these super creative games, you notice things that people do that you yourself as a game developer do as well while working on a game, and you learn so much from it. So it's amazing to play all of these, and it's just so much fun. And it was not just me playing through these. My colleague Ben Mears, also Side Effects, he also played them, and he also actually streamed all of the games that use Houdini. So check out his YouTube channel.
We'll go into details what each of these special category modifiers meant. I think we lost Amanda's camera. Nonetheless, we are going to start off with, not the least by any means, but we are going to start off with the Tiny Award special modifier category. And for those of you who are unaware, this is a special modifier category that's awarded for the best game that comes in under 100 megabytes. So it requires a little bit of technical effort to strip out the engine out of some components and make sure you don't have a lot of bloat. Make sure it arrives in less than 100 megabytes. Wow. All right. So if someone has played the games, they already got a little bit of yep, it's right there. You know what? Chat, there's no time to daddle because you can all see what it is. The winner of the Tiny Award goes to a long time from Diviver. Please, normally we do a little bit of a, like a drum roll here, and we try to amp that up. But because of Amanda unfortunately dropping the call, our overlays and scene organization in OBS took a hit. And so congratulations. Let me go ahead and get that ready for you so that we can play it. And there we go. I need this in full screen. I know y'all can see it like that, but all right. Let me see if I have some audio too. Let's see. Can you all hear it? Oh, looks like I lost all of my audio. I'm sorry about that, chat. Let me figure out what happened there. That's a new one. It's going to be a little bit difficult to talk about this if I can't hear anyone. Maybe Discord just did it for all of us. Can I get a sound check from someone?
I can hear you, Victor.
Oh, okay. Y'all are just quiet because I'm talking too much.
Yeah, we might be. Your sound was probably working the whole time.
It probably was. I cannot hear the game, but that's okay. Can y'all hear the game?
No.
You know what? That's because there's no sound on the enter screen. Yeah, great.
There we go.
It's going well. All right, there we go. And the frame rate's up. So first off the bat, I know while we're talking here, this is going to be a little bit of a different viewer experience. But before I shut up, I want to mention that audio in this game it's great.
It's definitely part of the experience, in my opinion. Like a very integral part of the experience, to be honest.
very trippy. Yeah, that's for sure.
Trippy is a good word. Immediately, I liked how there was sort of nothing told me what to do. I just had to discover what all of this was about myself. And I'm not sure I still know. Oh. Nice little kill volume there, making sure that we can continue. Always a good option in case you don't have time to QA test every single part of your game, which is very common. Loved some of the... I think some of it is shader work, especially in here.
Wow.
And sort of combining different tricks of reutilizing materials and assets. I got a little afraid here first. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do, and it turned out like, okay, that's just a little mesh.
Yeah, I think those backgrounds are all like render targets. I'm curious if those are actually the perspective of the player itself. Sometimes it's hard to see, but it's for sure a cool look.
I think my commentary in this game when we were talking about it during judging was basically like, this is the worst kind of fever dream, 10 out of 10. I don't know, I kind of like just jarring weird experiences like this, so I really enjoyed this one for that express purpose.
Yeah, there's nice audio design here where it sort of tries to tell you a little bit about, I wouldn't go as far as say the story, but it brings you along the experience without having to do too much else. It sort of builds up. Didn't expect it to be a platformer at first, but as you continue, it gets a little bit, and it actually took me, we'll see if I can make all of the jumps later on. There's some nice little, might be a little difficult to see, but I like the camera effect that was added when you start sprinting.
Definitely sound on the theme too.
The tick-tocking starts to...
Yeah, and this was actually also one of the games that submitted for the special category that used Houdini. So in the description, the developer mentioned that this was actually the first time that they used Houdini, using the 2-month license that we offered for the MegaJam with side effects. So surprised to see that they created something cool with that.
I like how the sort of trippy visuals make the platforming aspect sort of adds an element of difficulty to it.
Yeah, this would probably be even more trippy if you do this in virtual reality.
Oh yeah, this would be outright jarring. And
Definitely.
Like...
Oh hey, Diviver, good to see you in chat. Congratulations, I guess it's in order.
Well, he says in chat that VR wasn't planning and he's still working on it, so...
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be possible. There's only sort of one main interaction, and so you don't have to set up a bunch of complex frameworks for designing a bunch of interaction objects in the world. Curious to see how those render targets perform, if they're using a scene capture in real time.
I think being constrained to the VR headset, and also like if the sound matches, it would be really, really trippy. It would just definitely increase the trippiness of this game.
Yeah, some spatial audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm wondering how navigating would look like, right? Because you're not really walking the same way.
That's true.
Yeah, you'd probably end up wanting to do something with like the thumbsticks on the controllers.
I would almost say though that, yeah, they could for sure do the thumbsticks, but the movement itself is almost a secondary part of the experience for me, at least.
I would go ahead and agree. It has a nice floaty feel to it. I really like the sound effects for the little tapping when you're running. tells you a lot about how you're moving. Okay, so these were the jumps that I guess I'm not a. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I did a couple of times as well here.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so I'm going to end the playthrough here because I want everyone to be able to play the game for themselves, instead of watching me failing a couple of times on the jumps like I did when I played the game before the stream. See, let's go ahead and get back into grid view for all of us. Once again, big shout out to Diviver for winning the Special Modifier category award for Tiny Award. I'm gonna make sure that I mention what we'll be shipping out some cool stuff. Diviver will get a 1-year Houdini Indie license from Side Effects, a 1-year membership to the IGDA, a 6-month subscription to Visual Assist from Whole Tomato. Thank you guys. A 1-month GameTextures.com subscription, as well as the Brushify Environment Shaders Pack from Joe Garth and the Stylized VFX Starter Pack from Reem May, as well as a feature playthrough on the January 28th live stream, which we just did.
That's this.
That's this? Yeah. We'll also be featured on our blog later down the line. It's been great. I think, yeah, we got a couple of games to go through here. So why don't you just dive in? Jesse, you have the floor.
So Microsoft sponsored the Is This Real Life category, and we're very excited to announce that Babel Builder by Bards of Babylon took that prize category. This was a really great game, and I think Victor's got some video that we're going to show of me playing it earlier today. And so I think I'll talk through that a little bit, and then I've got some notable mentions as well.
Let's see, Liam, can we get the video playing? Go ahead. There we go. I'm realizing that I cannot share this to you right now, Jesse.
I'm
because of the
watching
new
it on
setup we're
Twitch.
doing it. Oh, I
So,
guess that works.
it's all
Ultra low
good.
latency. The internet's
Yeah,
good.
a little bit. Yep. So this one was great to play, and one of the nice things is there was a PC version and also a VR version. So the first time I played it was actually in the PC version. And once I got in there, I just really wanted to see this world in like the VR aspect of it. So you come in and there's this partially built tower, kind of Tower of Babylon, and all these little guys. And the idea is that you have to use the people to kind of go in and start building on this tower. And so it really fit with the theme in a few different ways. So, it's been a long time, but the tower's not done yet. And then also it just takes a long time for these little guys with all their construction pieces to move up the tower. And we'll see that, through the gameplay here. But then there's also this aspect of like exploring this whole island. And as time goes through, we'll see, day switch to night, and they did a lot of great work with the lighting and effects there. And it was, in short, a really fun game. Did anybody else play it?
Yeah.
I love this game.
It was my first pick. Almost
Yeah.
as soon as I played it, I was a little worried because I played it early on, and I was a little worried. I'm like, was this it already?
This is
Yeah,
just in the same vein as like those God games that I really like Black and White and whatnot. It felt right in vein with that. I had a lot of fun. I only played the PC version. It's probably a whole different experience than the VR version, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is. And this is one that I played a few different times because I really wanted to see how tall I could get the tower. And it takes a while for all the little guys to walk around that tower. So you kind of get invested in this game. So like the last time I played it was for like 45 minutes. And I think I got the tower up to like level 13. You start at, level 3.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Way further than I got.
A lot of time just kind of sitting in a chair watching people build. So that was kind of fun. At first I was like, man, I wish I could speed these people up. But again, it kind of fits into the category of it just takes a long time to get through this game. And I think that's more of a feature than a bug, that there was no way to kind of speed it up. So there was great music throughout it. The gameplay was done. You can see we're starting to transition to night. And I love the night mode because all the lights go like this red kind of view with the clouds in the sky. So just overall a lot of fun to play this game. So congratulations to Babel Builder and the Bards of Babylon. Very excited.
Bards of Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their team now, fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special shout outs to other people from the category.
Let's wait with that.
Okay.
Yes. We will wait with the honorable mentions until we're done so that we're not giving away any ideas of what the next special modifiers as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. I'm glad I caught that before we started shouting out the
So I don't know if you showcased it. One of the most fun things is just taking that handful of people and just chucking them as far as you can in the direction of some woods. You're like, I need wood.
Yeah, so that doesn't work as good in VR, or at least not with the bindings that I had. So I ended up doing a lot of teleporting around to do that kind of stuff, which is still fun.
I was like, that's the first thing I do in any VR game is like take anything near me and check
And
it
see
to
how
see
far
how
you
it
can
works.
throw it.
Yeah.
How far out can you walk in the level? And try.
You can go like all the way around it.
Yeah,
so...
I don't think I discovered any.
I didn't test any. I didn't find any limits. I just went around to every building, every place that had a village, and was like, well, looks like I found some workers.
I think here in a second I'll start teleporting around kind of the entire place.
It'd be really cool if there were like some secrets, that you can explore in the world, see how far you can go.
Secret
Yes,
resources.
but if there are none, it is clear that the developer decided to cut all the feature creep and make sure that they shipped and submitted the game on time, which is very important in any summer production environment that you find yourself in, whether that's a game jam or at a studio or on your own game. I think game jams really helps teach the importance of planning and following up with the goals that you set out for yourself. I know very well how difficult that can be, because especially when you're doing VR and you are just thinking of all the cool ideas that could become of this. But remember that each and every feature that you implement in your game needs to be tested, verified several times throughout, because especially if you keep expanding the game within your goals that you set out for yourself, you still have to test all of that, and that can be difficult, especially as a VR. They did something great though, which is that they could play the entire game in flat mode, mouse and keyboard, gamepad, because that allows you to test, what you're working on much faster iterative process than it is of actually putting on a headset and picking up the controllers and going at that. While we're still watching a little bit of the video, because I do want to show some more of the gameplay, the winners of this real life category will be rewarded with a HoloLens 2 from Microsoft, which is, that's super exciting. I myself have had a chance to play with one, and it's nothing short of amazing. So I'm just going to say that. Congratulations. As well as a Azure Kinect development kit from Microsoft, which I'm sure you can figure out some interesting ways to combine those two technologies.
Yeah, super fun. Hopefully, we'll see both those show up next year as devices people develop for in the Game Jam.
They will also get a 1-year Houdini license from Side Effects, 1-year membership to IDDA, a 6-month subscription to Visual Assist from Whole Tomato, and a 1-month GameTextures.com subscription. Brushify Environment Shaders Pack from Joe Garth, Stylized VFX Starter Pack from Remaya, and a feature playthrough on the January 28th live stream. That is today. We made a date. Congratulations.
I like that
everyone.
you continue to read them up.
Well, I mean...
the date part.
Well,
You guys are formulating
because it's funny. That's the chance I have to get to be like, that's today. We're doing it. You got your prize.
Ta-da!
Made it out. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we have a little bit of a problem of doing more physical prizes, and so I guess I'm trying to put some weight on the fact that what one of the prizes is. Is there anything else you wanted to mention about the game, Jesse, while we're still watching it?
No, I think that was about it.
Cool. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next category. And this time, let's see if we can try to get a little bit of a drum roll, since that's sort of typical for this. Mike, you're ready with your screen share? Ready? Okay, ready. Not screen share, but ready to screen share.
What, screen share right now?
So for our next special modifier category, this is a new one around. Kitbash 3D is one of the sponsors for the jam, and we came up with a bash category, and in this case, a genre bash, which is for the most original bash of one or two or more genres. The game in question, I think we all very quickly agreed that we had never played a combination of these two genres. I will also say that it was extremely clear what the genres was. There was no question. We didn't have to go look at what they filled in the sheet. That stood out to me. And I think with that said, let's just go ahead and announce the winner of the Genre Bash Special Modifier category. Can I get a drum roll, please? That sounds terrible.
I'm sure it does.
The winner of the Genre Bash category is Reclaim by Chris N. Just for the
Yay!
little pause while we're waiting for his t-shirt
Yeah.
comes up. Yay!
Boom.
It's still unfortunately just us. There we go. All right. And we're now going to watch, I quote Mike here, one of his difficult attempts at being good at the game, I think is what you said.
It's going to be a crap show.
That's a nice way of putting it. I actually saw you play it, and I don't know what you're talking about, but
So this game, there was another person from Game Textures judging, and that was Tanner, our CEO, and he invested so much time into this game, he fell in love with it. So he couldn't be here to play it today, which, sucks to be him. I get to do it. But it's a lot of fun. And it was just such a unique bash that, like Victor was saying, we had never seen it before. Like, I'd never seen this sort of thing put together this way.
and it was also not. I will say that they didn't just. I didn't feel like they just crammed like one of the genres in. I think he had a goal of the platformer, and then was trying to think of what else could work with this. And as I'm gonna spoil it for you if you haven't played the game yet. But the comment, look at that jump! Are you kidding me?
I've been practicing this exact level
Yeah,
for like 8 hours before this, just
You're
to
way
make sure
better
I
than
didn't love
was.
it.
Yeah.
Tanner would never let me live it down.
I believe, although the music was made prior to the jam, the developer actually produced all of the tracks for the game. They were pre-made, but I still wanted to shout it out because I think it's cool to see that the person didn't just download something; they actually utilized something that they had made themselves, which is impressive. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about the two genres. As you'll end up seeing right here, nice timing, yeah. Is that this sort of speedy speedrun platformer turns into a turn-based combat game, where how well you performed throughout the speedrun gives you either a boon, like it either makes you stronger or it makes you weaker during the turn-based combat, which I thought was awesome. So there's a great incentive to sort of try to be as fast and collect as much as possible so that you make sure that you can keep progressing throughout the turn-based combat. Now, Mike just blew through that because he's clearly so bad at the game. But you actually have to pick which element you decide to fight on. So there's a little bit of tactics involved in how you decide to shift your health versus power. These red lines, if you drop down there, you actually you get less of that meter. I don't know what to call that generic power. Perhaps it has a name. But
Just health and whatnot.
yeah, you just get less of health and power. Yeah, I'd
so
really
the controls are real smooth. That was actually one of the things I walked away from when I first played this game, is that everything reacts pretty well. There's no real problems with like figuring out, where things are and where you're landing, where your feet are, stuff like that you sometimes find in platformers.
Yeah, the menu, the main menu was also something that I was, impressed by. It felt very snappy, like very clear what you were doing, like the setting the control scheme in the beginning. Using gamepad or mouse and keyboard. It's something I'm gonna borrow in the future.
Isn't that one of the, there are a lot of artistic, a lot of ways to express yourself artistically. In video games, it seems as the culture that everyone sort of likes is that if you see something good, we generally just love seeing someone take that and make it even better. There's not too much of let's call it rivalry, perhaps. I don't know a better term or what I'm trying to talk about, but I have yet to see, there's a clear difference when you steal something straight away, right? And you literally make it the exact same thing. But being inspired and then making something yourself out of that is one of many reasons why I love the games industry and almost all the people that exist in it.
Yeah, I think it's because people are very proud of what they do, and they love sharing. And I think that's why people get very excited if someone else takes what you're doing and continues on it or makes a creative adaptation of it.
Well, it helps you know that you've made a difference too, right? Like if you inspire somebody, and even if they iterate on it to make it their own, it's not a one-for-one, but you've helped somebody along their journey get to a new experience that they've been able to create, and then everybody kind of keeps spiraling into new and more like diverse experiences, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, if you like video games and what you did make someone make a great video game that you can then play, of course you have to love that whole process, right? Like everything is just good about that. Win-win. I like win-win.
There's nothing saying you can't keep iterating off of something that someone else came up with either. Like if someone takes your idea and iterates something interesting and neat, then that gives you an idea, and then that gives someone else an idea. It keeps building and building, and that's kind of what the community is about, really. Nope.
Ooh.
Try to speedrun it.
I was trying to. First time I made it that far in this run, so I was like, okay, how do I get past it?
And I think with that, we can leave the rest of the excitement of the game and the puzzles and the turn-based combat to all of you out there. Hope you go ahead and play it. You will see a full list of the winners on the forum post, as well as the itch.io page with links to download the games, and on the Unreal Engine blog sometime soon, as soon as we get it up. All right, super impressive. Once again, let's do a little weird headset.
Round of applause.
Trying to share the love. Yeah, super impressive. The winner of the Genre Bash category will receive a couple of special prizes from Kit Bash. I believe it's an individual license for 10 world kits from Kit Bash 3D, a 1-year Houdini Indie license from Side Effects, a 1-year membership to the IGDA, a 6-month subscription to Visual Assist from Whole Tomato, 1-month GameTextures.com subscription, and the Rushify Environment Shaders Pack from Joe Garth. And I guess y'all can guess what the next prize is as well. Yeah, I'm not even going to go there. Y'all figure that out.
Could be anything.
Could be
I don't
anything.
know. Victor read it, and he very specifically didn't say it, so cool.
Let's move on. The next winner of our special modifier category prizes actually took home 2 of the special modifier category categories, plural, English. And Paul, would you like to say a couple of words, or make this as exciting as we can?
Yeah, let's do a quick drum roll first, because if I say or I guess I can. So this game we were very impressed by. Let's say I don't think I can say more without spoiling who it is. So let's do a quick drum roll.
All right.
The actual name. It is
The worst
Marsh's Journey. That's the winner.
Hooray!
Hooray! That's better.
All right, so let me start sharing my screen so I can play it and talk about why we thought that this was the winner. So first of all, this game was really polished in our opinion, and this creator said that he was completely new to Houdini. Right, he hadn't used Houdini before, and he said that Houdini was very important for this project. A lot of the stuff that you're going to see in this game uses Houdini's procedural technology to create things in a more iterative and procedural manner. So the creator describes that all of these platforms that you see in the game, as soon as we get past this cutscene.
Yeah, so Paul, I think we should repeat if it wasn't said already. This was the winner of the Procedural Magicians category, as well as the Army of One.
Yep. And those two fit fairly well. We spoke about it a bit earlier because, if you use Houdini and you're a procedural magician, once you have your procedural tools, you literally are an army, right? You can create lots of content really fast. So a few examples of that are these buildings here, which are these coffee mugs. They built them procedurally, so they can just change a couple of parameters and get a couple of variations, as well as these platforms or these plateaus that you walk on and you have to platform on. Those were all created using curves in the editor. So you can literally just place curves, and Houdini will automatically generate geometry from that. And especially since this game, revolves a lot around jumping on these platforms, having created that type of procedural tool, makes it very, very easy for you to expand upon that and create lots of content without, having to go back into a DCC and modify it. So the goal of this game is, collecting as much candy as you can and getting to the next level. So as you can see in this description here, try and destroy as much as possible to get the candy. Let's see, once we jump here, there's also enemies. Let me just get all the candy so that I can actually, finish the level. So I have this candy corn. These are enemies as well as these marshmallow-like objects. And what I was really impressed by is that everything that you see, except a couple of sounds, were made specifically for this game jam. So, creating a character like this, animating it, learning Houdini because they were new to Houdini, is very, very impressive. And that's why we decided to make this game the winner of this category.
I was going to say, it's clear that the enemy should be candy corn, because who likes candy corn? But I remember there are also marshmallows, and I really like marshmallows. So,
yeah.
Who likes candy corn, though?
No one.
So what do you guys think about this game? What did you enjoy about it?
The candy corn death animations are hilarious. I just, for whatever reason, I just would smack a candy corn and it just amused me how they fell over backwards over themselves.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's I think I say this often for the jams that we select as the winners, but how it's a complete game that has a lot of potential for growth, where you can continue. Yeah. That's not to say that a finished experience isn't worth it, but you can still finish an experience and still, show the potential. And in this case, also demonstrate that the tools are there to just continue to build a game, right?
Yeah. There's a second type of style or level that comes after this once you get enough candy to enter the hot air balloon that you see over there. So that's why I'm running around and trying to kill as much as possible. Because I think you need 3,500 pieces of candy.
Actually, I think you need 2,500.
It is?
It's either 2,500 or 3,000. I don't think it's...
All right, let's try. Let's kill these two guys and then go in there. 3,000. Oh, there we go.
Hey.
We made it.
There you go.
So let's take a quick look at the next part, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds good. Just having all the cutscenes, the intro and the little narrative, it really helps tie the experience together. Even though you might look at it, it's like, it's just a hack and slash platformer, right? And it's those little juicy things that really makes the whole experience feel like a game and not just a bunch of prototype mechanics, right?
Yeah, and they also did some smart level design here where you go to a specific area, you do your thing there, and then you loop back over a couple of areas you've already been, but those are now different. Because as you can see, I have this lollipop thing here. Later on, I'll dip it in some sort of thing, and then it gets it becomes an axe. And then now I can use that axe to walk back through where I already came and destroy these here, right? Which is something that I previously couldn't do.
I hadn't got that far, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I don't think I need to collect all the candy to be able to do that.
I kind of like how he dances with the music too.
It's a really great aesthetic overall. And I think it's those little touches, right? Like you see how the candy swarms around them, and those really add just that like next level of polish, and makes it like you've mentioned, a more solid experience. And Ben's actually linked that they put a devlog together.
That's right.
So if you want to go through and see some of their process or their experimentation across the jam, there's a handful of videos on YouTube.
That's right. So they didn't just, develop this game every day. They also made a devlog talking about, what is it they did, what did they learn from it, and how they use Houdini, right? Which is why it's really great. It's not just creating a game and having people follow it, but it's also, educating others about what you did and why you did a certain thing.
And so in 1 week, they achieved almost every single component of what developing and shipping a game looks like, including trying to gain some community interest from frequently updating the progress of the game, sort of letting people in on the of what it might be to actually work on it, as well as being able to play it.
So this is the end. So I think we'll round it off here, and it's a nice little cliffhanger. So I can see a lot of ways of continuing this game. Who is Flapjack, right?
The dreaded Flapjack.
Yeah, with
so
that,
great.
that's the end. So yeah, definitely awesome. Shout out once again to Jacob Reynolds. Check out his socials and the devlogs, which are also linked in the chat. And with that, I'll run it off here.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Jacob. It was a pleasure. I have my notes in order. I'll go and rattle off a couple of, just to make sure that we mention the sponsors as well, since we didn't have the opportunity to do that because audio cut out when I was doing that earlier. But the winner of the Army of One category is actually receiving a custom branded Unreal Engine laptop from Falcon Northwest, which is also just a custom PC company based out of the Pacific Northwest. Awesome people, amazing computers. This one is looking flashy. Didn't prep a picture for that, unfortunately, but it is on the itch.io page where you can see the fancy Unreal Engine logo slapped on the back of the laptop. That's so boring, me just talking about that instead of my bad. Sorry, Kelt. I'll take that upon myself. They'll also receive a 1-year Houdini Indie license from Side Effects, a 1-year membership to the IGDA, 6 months visual subscription to. Oh, you know what? I need to combine these because they're actually doubling almost on all of the prices, because both the procedural magicians category as well as the Army of One had a couple there. So I think that's pretty much it. And a couple of the marketplace packs from Joe Garth through May. 2 years membership to the IGDA. It's good stuff. Once again, let's do a little bit of an applause for Jacob. Big up. Actually took home 2 of the special modifier categories for the 2020 Epic MegaJam.
Very well deserved. Yeah.
Very well deserved. Yes, indeed. And now, to make sure that we continue the momentum of announcing and playing these amazing video games, it is time to move over to our top 3 finalists. Are you going to say something, Amanda? Looks like you're ready to say something.
I was responding.
Nope. All right. Just looking into
my thinking face.
Yes. And so, Sam, are you ready? Ready, not screen share, but just ready before we do the infamous awful drum roll required. However, I do want to say that the next game was complete experience that. How should I put this? I think most of it will come out as we're playing it because I don't want to give anything else. So why don't we start with that? The winner of the 3rd place in the 2020 Epic MegaJam, drum roll please, is the Rude, the Mad, and the Ugly from 5 Fancy Mustachios. Mustachios.
Oh, we should have all gotten mustaches.
Oh,
there are a few of them.
Missed opportunity.
That's a good shout.
Next time.
Team names.
Okay, it goes without saying first that I will probably butcher this because apparently my wit is not as good as I thought it was. And these games are great at reminding me that.
It's been a long time since the locals ran me out of step. But even though I ain't set foot in the town in years,
Let's turn this one up a little bit for chat if you can.
sometimes a man just don't forget what another man's done to him. And the only way he's going to let it go is with the application of
Oh, I think you muted it entirely, Sam.
Yep, I think I did. My bad.
Now you have to do all the voiceovers.
Yeah, that sounds like a.
Let's make sure we fix that before we continue, because there we
Yeah.
go.
Is that better?
Awesome.
But he's still dimmer than a
Cool.
2-watt bulb. If he's so damn smart, he cut down on all those fava beans that are rotting his insides. Can smell the man long before you see him.
See, I'm glad I didn't have to do those voiceovers because I couldn't do anything better than that. That's one thing I do love is the voiceovers in this game are phenomenal. And there's me forgetting again. I didn't read, so I am going to butcher this, and I apologize to the devs.
So the goal here, I'm going to be quiet because
The chat's saying the volume's still really low on the game.
I still got a
Liam, can we get the turned up?
done yet. Prepare to draw. I'm gonna put you in the ground over my dead body. That's how this supposed to work, you dumb. I can see why your harlot of a wife left you. My wife was a saint. She'll be on your knees begging for mercy when I'm
Love
through
it.
with you.
Oh, yep, this is where my wit does not do me any favors.
And so for those of you who haven't played it,
Nobody ever heard of you. Man, you really ain't that bright, are you? A square ain't a rectangle, James. That's what this is about? If there ain't different things, then why have different names? It's just a rectangle with equal sides. It's just a speck. You always were a good for nothing know-it-all. Better than knowing nothing and thinking you're clever. Well, there ain't a clever move that's gonna stop me shooting you.
They said their voice actor, composer, musician was Rob. So great job, Rob.
What? Ow! You shot me.
I think this game would also be fun if you you have like Twitch participants being able to vote which respond
yeah.
to the game,
I
right?
didn't
That
even
would be
think about that.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
genius.
That would probably help me about now, to be honest.
I think the devs are in the chat, so you know what to
I
do.
apologize. Oh, apparently, yep, I won.
you got it.
No?
The grave dance is obviously the best part of the game.
Yeah.
So good.
After I hosed number 1, it was time to drop number 2. Zimmer. Fastest hands in the West. Or so he claims. I never did like pianos. It's a big Nancy instrument for little Nancy men. Time to see if he can fan the hammer as fast as he can tap them keys.
But I'm not sure if chat can hear. Even the ambience in the game really sets that Western kind of vibe. And again, seeing as the first one was a fluke, I am just fluking this one as well.
I would imagine in real life just like busting out some cards and being like,
Having note cards.
I mean, it's kind of a Cards Against Humanity type of thing, right? Like you've
Yeah.
got a few options and you got to fit what best fits the situation.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that, apparently.
This is another game that stood out as like a complete package, which was pretty nice. It's just a nice, funny game. Just jump into. It was actually, I think it was one of the first that I'd end up playing during the judging. It was awesome.
You should really learn to play your instruments. I can play them all just fine. And I'll play you like the fool that you are.
The dev says you can make it through the whole game in 6 minutes if you pick all the right answers.
Oh. Yeah, that's not going to happen for me. But the good thing is, even if you get something wrong, you have this sort of banter going between the characters, and I think that's really cool. That you don't feel like you've lost out on anything.
It's one of those things where it's almost worthwhile to like do a run where you fail just to see how they make fun of you for failing.
You son of a oh, that hurts.
Oh, I got another fluke. That's great.
Besides, I did play your damn stupid song. You're just so damn drunk you probably couldn't see or hear even if you remember the evening anyways. You didn't play the song. I requested it like 10 times.
They're so mad.
I played it once. Everyone hates that song anyway.
I hope I'm like that when I'm older.
Doesn't matter now.
You could be like that now.
Life goals.
This team was 5 people, you said?
Yes.
How your children live these days. What? It doesn't matter. Just put up your guns and fight. Quick on the draw.
Yeah,
But I sure wasn't quick with my wits.
Oh, shucks.
Like a tree.
we knew that going in.
All right.
Should I-
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's leave the next. Let's call it entanglement between the characters. For everyone who wants to download and play the game, which I recommend you do. Once again,
You'll be-
big shout out and some form of a clap, applaud, and yays to
Yay!
my fancy mustachios. It was a pleasure. So an immediate laugh when I realized what the game was about and how they tied in the theme, which I thought was very, very clever. Now, to make sure that we do mention all of the fancy prizes, this is actually where Intel comes in place, because every member of the team will receive a i7 10700K processor from Intel. They'll also get an individual license for one World Kit from Kitbash 3D, 1 year Houdini Indie license from Side Effects, a 1 year membership to the IGDA, a 4-month GameTextures.com subscription, a 6-month subscription to Visual Assist from Whole Tomato, a whole slew of marketplace creators pack from Drowning Dragons, Joe Garth, and Remay. I'm gonna have to say that a few more times. So
Say it with your best Western accent.
Remay. Ooh, a couple more beers before I can pull my American.
A for effort.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Not the first time someone has me try to do that. And as well, a feature playthrough on the January 20th live stream. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for participating in the jam and giving all of us a great time throughout the judging process. Without further ado, to make me not be too long and all of this, even though I know I could hang out with all of you guys here all day. But we got work to do, and I know everyone out there wants to know who the winners are so they can go and work on their games or not work on their games. The second place finalist for the 2020 Epic MegaJam is, and I need to realize who's supposed to play this. Mike, are you ready? Yes. Yep. Awesome. Let's go ahead and do another one of our fancy drum rolls. The winner is Mike. I want to hear you say it.
Eon's Unfolding.
By Sarshal. Yeah, so I see chat's talking about drums. If we were in the studio, like the whole idea of 2020, I was supposed to bring my snare drum in or some form of drum and actually play that on the stream for once, because we were talking about it, we did it. But then the apocalypse.
Instead, we got worse.
I could get my daughter's drum kit if that's needed. Just little plastic drum.
Should work perfectly. So this game is a sort of Civ-like, 4X strategy kind of game. I really loved this one when I first jumped into it. It was basically one of those games where while you're judging, you just next thing you know, it's 45 minutes later. The whole point is basically gather resources, build up your colony, and expand from there. It's kind of like a mixture of Civilization and Spore is what we pretty much agreed with. And I love these sorts of games, so this was one I was pretty easy to jump into for me. You have to take into account the temperature, the oxygen levels, and radiation, and sort of build your cell, build your entity to resist all this stuff. properly. Can you guys hear the game?
Yep.
Yes. There's some really nice ambiance. I know that's probably a little bit low.
You have to keep track of you don't have a lot of things to keep track of, but it's like you have 3 and 3, so you just need to keep track of your food, your water, and this asset will change. Right now it's this calcium tiles, and then you have to keep track of your oxygen, radiation, and temperature, and just try to keep them sort of baseline middle so that you're able to survive any fluctuations. Oh, I want to hit that. We'll see if it works out in the end.
So how many hours have you already played this game?
Oh man, too many. There was someone else who played it longer than me and got further, but because I always seem to get hit with the worst luck in the next stage, where the something just ends up killing me like right off the bat. So
Yeah, I think-
oxygen levels are high.
I think Ben said that every time he made it to the next level, he got hit with like a 6-second event where he had to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Where he basically, and I don't think it was a scripted event. I think when he literally just ran into like a random event that procced 6 seconds into his thing. And now this is something I didn't really understand. Maybe the devs are in chat. What it meant to stabilize the cell clusters. Did anyone else play this game? Other
Yeah,
than me?
I just want to say it's just kind of pleasant to look at, and it's one of those games where you can just. I know that Ben might have had a stressful experience, but for me it was not as stressful, and I felt like I could take the time to first learn it and then try to get better and make better choices. There's a lot of replayability, which games like Spore as well provides. Although when I did make it to space, it was no longer as fun in Spore as it was before I made it to space. But
that's a known problem with Spore. I think everybody could probably agree that the space gameplay did not match even the cell. The cell was where it was all at, really.
I just love all the colors too. Like, this is just a really beautiful game.
As you see, the temperature's going up, so I need to make sure that I can survive that.
Did you ever try increasing the game speed in the bottom left?
No.
Just keep it a relaxing experience. So I think you can
I do. That's actually I'm noteworthy for that in my like when I'm playing like Civ or like Sins of the Solar Empire or anything like that with friends. They're always like, "Oh, let's just put it to like ×2," and I'm like, "No, I'm fine. We'll just sit there. I got hours to spare." My thoughts have always been like, if I didn't have 12 hours to set aside for Civ for my one more turn, why am I even playing right now?
I feel that. I'm like, I want to sit down and play some Civ. Do I have 8 hours?
Yeah. Do I have 8 hours? Let's make sure that's set aside first.
8 hours.
See, everything's pretty much stabilized.
yeah, it's looking good. I was hoping we get to show the next sort of advance.
I think we're close because I have some of these that I can use.
And that was something I didn't actually expect that. I just thought for some reason that you'd stick around in this the level of English, Victor.
This mode.
Well, that's the name of say. Evolution was the word I was looking for. And then you don't. I don't want to spoil it yet if you haven't seen it, but it's upcoming.
And it fits nicely with the theme as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's also one of those things where you kind of want to save some points to protect yourself from fluctuations. Because they can hit fast, like right here, cold.
think you spent all your points. Now,
Over-indexed on the
now you're in a
gold.
radio.
I did, but I'll get some. It'll stabilize here in a second. See? No, maybe not. I'm dead. I'm joking. Should be okay. And the one thing about this game that's kind of cool is that there we go. Fast forward 1 billion years. This was actually a cool thing where this comes up. And now we're in the next area, which is basically like the civilization stage, of the early Stone Age stage. I would say this is probably akin to.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were all just pink little blobs
if
instead of
they're
apes with opposable thumbs? Like, what are these for even?
I'm halfway there.
We're having high oxygen problems.
Nice.
So if you can see the map, oxygen's like really high. So, and fixed it with 1 point.
Was there a third stage?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, if
But
so,
I
I'd
would have
make it-
wanted there to be one.
I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, you want endless stages for this. This is
Yeah.
very much. I would put this as like, this is a great veg game. Like you put this on and like, I have hours of just vegging out to this game so far. So
I just want to listen to it. Like the ambiance is so good that when you first put it up, I didn't even realize it was the game, even though like I've heard it before. I was just like, oh, I've been enveloped in sound and.
Like a jungle forest, right? In this stage. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, the last one I was like, oh, there must be an aquarium nearby, you know.
Yeah, I'm curious, like if you were to take this game further, right? Not saying that you should during a game jam feature creep, but if you were to take this further, like, you know, what other types of mechanics would you be able to introduce here? Perhaps, you know, multiplayer, right? Be curious if you can like build a little army and then, you know, use these resources to compete with other people.
Yeah, and you
that
can
would be pretty fun. So right now, it's basically so cold that I can't. Yep, there we go. And I had spent all my points trying to upgrade to combat that. So there's a point where if your growth, because like I was capped out on cold, so if your growth is high enough, you can actually offset your loss as long as you're able to eliminate the amount of population loss you're taking via your evolution points. So yeah, that was this. I really liked it. I played it for hours. Congratulations, you guys.
Yeah, to Sarah Erickson and Marshall Constantini. Another one little
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was impressed with the amount of mechanics they all got working, and we were all able to play the game, and it all came together for them, which I know can be so difficult in those last couple of minutes, hours, I should say. Hopefully it's hours. Last couple of minutes, then it's rough. As always, we recommend package often, package early, package often, and submit before the deadline. Those are the three key components for submitting to a game jam, whether it's one of ours or any of the other awesome ones on itch.io. All right, I think it's time for the last one, and this falls in my bucket. Do we want to do can we talk a little bit about the game before we announce it? Because I know
so.
going to
I
go.
think so.
I don't want to spoil. I don't even want to show what happens after the sort of the first playthrough-ish. Okay, let's just, you know what? Let's just go. We'll see what happens.
I think you already gave it away a little bit there.
A little bit, but it's one of the coolest parts about the game. And it's what really hits the theme as well. And so without further ado, I need to go ahead and make sure I have the right folder open so that I can actually spin this up. Oh, all right. One moment. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to announce it, start my screen share, because the game just kicks off immediately, and I really want to show the intro from the start. So,
Last chance at our drum roll.
This is tough because I have to start it. Okay, maybe. How do I do this? Because I can't share my screen because then you won't get audio. So let's go ahead and announce it, and I will figure this out. I'll try to be as fast as possible. The first place finalist of the 2020 Epic MegaJam. Shitty drum roll, please.
Special drum roll.
Forfax Castle by Team Wispy Boys.
Woo, 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 woo.
iOS. All right, I'm going to try to be as quick as possible
The game
here.
is anything but
Launched it.
wispy.
Now we're getting ratings on our drum rolls.
Yeah.
Are they good or bad?
That one was not bad.
That one was,
That's-
that was our highest one yet.
Progress.
I can't do this quick enough because Discord needs to know.
You can always
Alright.
just restart it. I do agree that the intro is pretty important.
One moment, because I need to move this over to the right screen so that I can actually play it. All right, does stat look good for everyone? You able to see that? Okay, I'm checking the stream. Latency is okay. Looks a little choppy. Bit choppy. You know what? Okay, Liam, I'm gonna turn off my ability to see that screen. Let me know if it looks a little bit better now.
Still a little choppy, but
Still a little choppy.
We'll get
I have
the-
nothing running.
we'll get
Yeah, but one of the key things about this game is how good it feels to play. The player movement is so well tuned that it just makes me happy just to move around.
but that means everybody just has to go download it from
Ooh.
itch.io and play it. So that they really know.
It's true.
Gonna let the game speak for itself for a little bit.
Man, you're way better at this game than I was.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He's been practicing for hours, fine-tuning the controls.
I did discover a couple of cool things. The combat system is much deeper than you expect when you first play it. I did much better on my first playthrough actually than now. I didn't have to drink this until way later.
Were you able to carry more than one?
No,
No.
it's just one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which I found out the hard way. Because I was like, oh, I'll just
Same.
grab both. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? I love
Yeah.
how they lit this, honestly, with the rain and that sort of like, just like that distant lamp effect being like these beacons in the night. Very atmospheric overall.
It's kind of like the lighting mode or the special buffer mode you can turn on in Unreal, like the detail lighting. I've always wanted to try and achieve that, and I think they managed to do that really well.
Oh,
And they did a lot of great work with, from like a material, from an art perspective, just simple shapes, like great contrast with the lighting and everything on top of that. It just waiting for Victor to start yelling. You're like, you're distracting it. Stop talking.
I mean, it is that Dark Souls-esque
I can't focus. Shut up, guys.
where every move matters. Ah, he's still not dead? Come on.
Well, there's your blue door.
I wasn't gonna give that away, but
Well,
The
he
blue
won't
door
find it
matters,
again.
okay?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He won't find it again. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you guys to talk because I don't think
Oh, too much focus.
I might play drums for 20 years of my life, but I am not very good at multitasking.
So one thing me and Victor both like, Tanner liked this game too, by the way. He was a real big fan of it. But one thing me and Victor were talking about when we were judging was the fact that it felt very directional. It felt very good when you hit things, in the sense that where you aimed and how you tried to manipulate the direction that you attacked and all that stuff felt really nice. Because you can get around this guy's guard if you angle your thrust or your attack right. Like, you don't necessarily have to just parry attack. You can find different ways to get around them. And I saw someone asked in YouTube how this applied to the Jam's theme.
We haven't really gotten there yet.
I think
It's been a long time, but
unfortunately, I died, which I can't believe. I actually, the first time I played it, I made it through the entire playthrough. So, and let's see if I can. I want to make it there because that part of the game is extremely beautiful. It makes you understand how the theme was tied in, as well as just like brilliantly designed. I've never had that kind of a loop in a game before. Maybe someone else in chat can
grab that potion before someone in chat loses their
mind.
Oh
yeah. You're right. I was like, I'm at full health. I don't need that. See, there I am. I'm talking and can't play it. It's down here, right? Show off the beautiful animation work, which is one of the first things that hit me when you grab that spear out of the skeleton. It was a bit of a whoa moment. It's so difficult to convey this. Just go play the game. It's difficult to convey sort of that I don't know if haptical experience, but
tactile I think is a good word you were going for. Tactile.
Thank you. English is hard. Yeah, the tactile experience of playing the game tied into the visuals. Yeah, I don't even know if they could have tuned it any better. Maybe they can let us know. It's like, oh, we had this whole cool system in place, but we didn't get time. That wouldn't surprise me.
There's another thing we brought up when we were judging this was that this is pretty much like a perfect sort of prototype, right? Like if you were to offer this as a prototype to studio or to your fellow devs, is like or to whoever, is like, this is what the game should feel like, this is what we want to start with, like this is a very good example of like a great prototype.
Yeah, like a vertical slice, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Just it conveys everything that you want from your game, and it shows all the different mechanics that you want. Like every mechanic that conceivably you could think of in the game is at this stage. Mm-hmm. You have fighting, you have the stamina increase, you have the potion drinking, finding the potions, the different attack patterns, the puzzles, and the platforming. Everything. And the
combat system is so tight. Like, I don't know, it was probably difficult to see there, but there was a moment where I stabbed him and he started hitting me while I was like finishing the stab move. And I'm going to finish this sentence before I enter. And I was still able to block that hit. And that just means that system is very well tuned. It just runs cool. And now I'm going to shut up. So that sequence, is what I'd call it. It's just such an... it gives me almost a little bit of goosebumps. First time I made it here, I was like, wait, what? And then and then I remembered, because I actually saw the yellow key lock on my first playthrough, and I thought, that looks very much like a game designer placed it there intentionally. And so once I made it through the door again, that I guess isn't there. I knew what to do. So I think I'm going to end it here, since I already spoiled what I'm about to do here. But it continues. There are more things to the game as what you'd expect from an RPG. See if I can quit out of this and we can go back to grid mode. I'm going to leave the stream up so that we can get the thirst back, Liam, and then we'll continue to talk a little bit about this. As soon as I'm able to see all my friends on the call, there we go. Major applause as well as big congratulations to Team Wispy Boys
Yay!
for Forfax Castle. When we were talking about and trying to pick these winners, and if you didn't know, it was a good amount of calls between us and a lot of very structured, and it was an extremely complex process for all of them. I already said Baba Builder was a quick winner, so maybe not that one, but the rest of the games, it was an extremely difficult choice. And some of the things that we mentioned, that goes beyond what you might think about in a game jam, at least when you're trying to scope it out. And in some cases, I'm sure that these were accidents, right? But that's also what's so amazing with game jams, is that you come across these happy accidents, and if you're able to roll with them, then you might end up with something that you yourself didn't even expect. And Paul, you were talking about sort of emerging gameplay.
Yeah, so emerging gameplay, for those who don't know, is basically enabling the players to insert their creativity into the game, right? So certain things happening in the game that aren't designed by the person who makes the game, right? So running into, for example, these monsters that you had in this game, there's so many different ways of killing them. You can either run around them, you can jump up and kill them from above, you can kill them from the front. And that's the kind of thing that is hard to achieve, knowing that as a game developer. And I think the last game that we just played shows that really well.
The option between the blue and the yellow key. Now, my first playthrough, I already saw the yellow door, so I knew where that was, and so I decided to go with the yellow key. But if I wouldn't have seen that, I would have been stuck with that choice. I probably would have grabbed one and tried to grab the other. Yeah, I was a little speechless playing all of these. Actually, it was at that point where you're just like, wow, I need to brush up on my skills and find some really good friends to be able to accomplish this, because just being able to get everything that you're planning for the game jam into the game on time in such a short amount of time, it's very impressive, and it's something that we should all strive for in our journeys as creators and developers. I guess I should go through the prizes just to make sure that everyone is aware, and then I can keep swooning about how amazing our community is with the amount of games that they're able to push through. For those of you who were asking, Team Wispy Boys was 3 people. Get some more notes here. The first place prizes are receiving an awesome NUC from Intel. It's the N19 QNX, the NUC 9 Extreme. Which is a super powerful, tiny little computer that you can run Unreal on. You can play video games. They'll get an individual license for 6 world kits from Kitbash 3D, a 1-year Houdini license from Side Effects, a 1-year membership to the IGDA, and a 1-year GameTextures.com subscription. They'll also receive a 6-month subscription to Visual Assist from Whole Tomato, Move It, multiplayer locomotion system, Marketplace Back from Drowning Dragons. I can see a cool little addition to Forfax there. It's always what everyone asks, like, can you make it multiplayer? And that the answer is usually yes, it's possible, but it's very difficult. And then there are 2 packs from Rime, the Lightning Electricity VFX pack, the Portals VFX pack plus interactions, and the Teleportation System VFX plus blueprints. And so with that, I want to take a quick moment and give a large shout out and thanks to all of our sponsors for the jam. Without you, it wouldn't be as exciting to announce, or I would say probably not to win the jam. Of course, it's fun, but being able to provide you all with a couple of, I was going to say mechanical again, but with some actual things rather than just our shitty drum rolls and claps to our various microphones. Yeah, thank you all. Falcon Northwest, Microsoft, and Jesse, thanks for being on the call. Intel, Kitbash 3D, Assembla. Oh, of course, I have to mention Assembla. For all of you who use source control for the jam, good job. It's the right way to go. Assembla opens up spaces for everyone in our jams if they want to use source control, whether that's with SVN, Git, or Perforce. Take your pick. And I know that we are very appreciative of that possibility, because I know myself getting into a game jam, and the first thing is like, all right, so who's going to deal with source control? Because it is something that is really important, especially in the late hours. I think everyone just agrees. Yeah. No,
Absolutely.
I hate it. I love my thumb
Trying
drive.
to find the proper solution for source control is as hard as implementing it.
Yeah. Source control is even more important at game jams because it might take some time to set it up, but knowing game jams, having participated in a couple, you're going to get sleepy, and once you get sleepy, you start making mistakes, and that's when you're going to need source control, the most.
Yep.
And you have someone on the phone screaming at you to go back 3 versions, or they're going to, do something terrible.
We also need to, of course, mention GameTextures.com. Thanks to Mike and Tanner for helping us judge the games, as well as providing prizes for the winners. Side Effects, Paul and Ben out there, I know you're in chat listening. Thank you so much for your help. IDDA, Renee being an amazing person to work with. Whole Tomato, Rime, Joe Garth, and Drowning Dragons for the marketplace packs. Maybe applause for those, for all of our sponsors.
Yay!
As well. Yay! We're not done yet. Because
no.
I already mentioned that,
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Been a
Yeah,
long
we're
time.
at an hour and 22 minutes here on the stream. 27 if we count the countdown. But I did want to go ahead and mention count and countdown. Did you get, okay.
Oh man.
It's me.
Death by 1,000 cuts, courtesy of Victor.
Well, yes, I apologize. Not really. Do want to go ahead and mention, like I said, there was a significant amount of amazing games, and so we did want to take the time to do a couple of shout outs to some of the ones that we all played, enjoyed. Jesse, you since I so abruptly interrupted you last time I tried to do this, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, so a few from the Is This Real Life category. I wanted to call out Antivirus and HoloCogs. Those were both made for HoloLens 2, which was amazing. We just added support this year for those devices. So really great to see those. And there's not a terribly lot of them out in the world. So having any show up in the jam was awesome. And they were both really fun to play. Echo Actions. This one was really cool because you hit a button to record your actions, and then it would play them back. And your goal was to try and get these blocks into these little portals. I didn't realize that there was a power button that took down the force field thing that was in front of the portal. So I played on hard mode, by bouncing the blocks off of walls and stuff before I realized that I could have just lowered the force field. So kind of that emerging gameplay aspect of it a little bit. So that was a lot of fun. Demon Flux, really great. Simple interface. There was kind of these the whole environment was built with these cards, and then some of them spun as you moved around, so that was pretty fun. Acidor Mayhem, which was an asymmetric game, so one person in VR and then other people on PC that were playing against them. The people on PC were raccoons who were trying to mess up a barbecue, and then the VR person is trying to cook meat and keep all the guests from getting too upset to leave the barbecue. So that one was really fun. And then Compiling Shaders is kind of the last one. This one had a very inside Unreal joke in that you were inside the computer working in the scene graph and trying to put these nodes together as they came at you and build what the dev was trying to build before he got so upset and went and started using Unity. So shout out to all those. Really great time judging this category.
I'll take the next step then. one of the games that really struck home with me was Cloud Climber, where it's sort of this narrative experience, kind of a walking simulator, maybe a climbing simulator, if you might say. I'd heavily recommend you go play it. It's like a 15-minute experience. I got captured in the narrative, and I really, really, really wanted to know what was actually going on there. And being able to put the player in a situation where you make them feel that way requires quite a bit of talent. Whether you do that with storytelling and the narrative in this case, or if it's just mechanics or just the atmosphere of the audio and the visuals, there are many ways you can do that. But in this case, it was the narrative, which I did want to make sure that we mentioned, because and the game was beautiful. It's also, I think, just made by one person. So that was very, very impressive. There were some funny ones, like Infinite Pizza Beta. I don't know. I don't know who played that, but I was actually curious, like, how did you do that? Yeah, that was cool. Are We There Yet was a game where I think you're the dad. It was just such a fun take on like an infinite runner, in this case like an infinite driver, where you're I think you're the father, and you're Manny, the father, and you have two kids sitting in the backseat, two Manny kids.
Mini Mannies.
And they keep interrupting you with like, "Hey, are we there yet?" And it's interrupted by like filling your view with these text bubbles, and so you gotta try to look around them to see where the next car is coming so that you don't crash into it. It was hilarious.
Vaccinator was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was fun. Just going into the nursing home and vaccinating people with a shotgun.
Violently taking care of them.
Violently removing the problems.
I actually got a good chuckle out of No More Papers, Please. Thought that was a good pun, and then just like the pure chaos of all this work falling, and is it like their wife is like, "Are you coming home yet?" And it's just like all this stuff. I like the chaotic nature of it, where it's just like you're trying to manage all the things at the same time, and I think that's actually been something that's been really fun about this jam. Not that our community doesn't do a wide breadth of game types or game themes per se, but like the variety that we saw in this one, just from, like you said, people running around vaccinating people in like nursing homes versus infinite pizza versus here I'm in an office versus Wild West. Like we got a lot of creativity really, really shining through. It was really cool.
I did want to just quickly make sure that the video you're seeing in the top left, that is taken from all of these submissions from the Game Jam. That's rolling. Unfortunately, due to how we're set up here, it's a little difficult to make sure that we play that the entirety throughout the stream without blocking things. But hopefully, you get to see your game there. I think how long was that? How long did it turn out to be? Like the total of all of the submitted videos?
It's right around an hour for each. Inevitably, some of the downloads were a little fickle and things like that. But every video that was successful that I could put into it is rolling in there. So it's about an hour with roughly 10 seconds for each little segment. So yeah, you can just keep watching it. There's it's a great way to get a good snapshot of the games.
Even better, recommend you go to the 2020 Epic MegaJam itch.io page and go to the submission page and make sure that you check out and play the games. I thought What a Mess was a really funny game, but and the thing I came up with was that What a Mess was not a mess, and it was made by What a Team. I thought that was really cool, and they were just a little bit clever with the way they submitted that. Until Death was a very beautiful and sort of it's a captivating story combined with this like little platformer, 3D platformer, or 2.5D, I guess technically. It'd be that I thought was really cool. Senior Citizen Racing. There were a few other. There's so many games. Out of 357, I think is what the final tally was. After a couple just got deleted, unfortunately. If any of you accidentally did that, that sucks. I don't know what else to say. Be careful. Make sure you cannot upload a build after you have submitted it, but you can still delete your game page, and that will take it away from the jam, because at that point we are no longer able to download it. So something to think about if that happened accidentally. Because I think it did drop from 357.58 down to 353. That's and if you had any submission problems, I hope you take that as a lesson for next jam, to make sure that you submit early. You can always submit at any time from the moment the jam starts. You're able to make your game's page on itch.io. You're able to upload a build, even if that's just a text file, to make sure that you have that up there, and then you can continue to update that throughout the submission period. That also allows you to fill in all of the submission fields, which we require a little bit of information so that we can go through it, all of this, including sending you the prizes if you happen to win. We are required to know which assets you made prior to the game, etc. And we know that for the first time, if you don't, we do put it on the itch.io page, but it does take a little bit of time. You might have to wrangle, wake someone up at 4 a.m. because you're the one who's ordained with the business of uploading the game, and now you are also required to put everyone's email addresses in, which can be tough. So make sure you plan for that. Go ahead, Paul.
I have a couple of mentions still. One of those is senior citizen racing. I just wanted to point that one out. It was a pretty fun one, where you're an old, I think it was an old lady, where you're on one of those carts that they have, right? And you battle against other elderly people to get upgrades that you can then apply in your own racing vehicle, so that you can beat, the person all the way at the end. And that was actually also a Houdini game. So I just wanted to shout that out. If you want to play other games, from this game jam that used Houdini, we do have a Epic MegaJam 2020 made with Houdini itch page where you can find all of those. And then there's another game that I wanted to give an honorable mention, which did not use Houdini, which is called If the War Comes. And was a really cool narrative type game that reminded me of Vanishing of Ethan Carter. And I was also just, enjoying that game for quite a while.
The level design was on point. It was a really great experience. I would fully suggest anyone playing it take the full hour that the dev suggests to just spend some time with the game.
Absolutely.
Do not want to forget to make sure to mention that Alar played through each and every single functional game live on Twitch. I think he mentioned it was almost 120 hours of content. And he tried to beat every single one, down to the last drop of energy, which is very impressive. I think we all enjoyed enjoyed watching you attempting a very rigorous task, and you committed. You were committed, and you went through with it. Which, So chat, please give a shout out for Alar for letting everyone see someone play their game live and having chat tune in. It's a good experience. Unfortunately, something we can't do on the channel, unless there was a lot more of us, I guess. That would not be very interesting if you just want to watch Unreal Engine content, which we are starting to get into the weeds of right now. And so I want to make sure that all of you get a chance to, if there was anything else, everyone on the call that you would like to leave chat with, and our audience and the Game Jam winners potentially.
So I would like to start off with seeing everyone come together as a community and just finding their teams, or whether they're going solo and creating something from absolutely nothing to the amazing games that we see today and the ones that we haven't been able to see, is just phenomenal. And I think that speaks to just how great the community and the tech community at large is, especially with people learning new skills to do this and finding those new friends. And I think given the state of the last year or so, seeing that is even more humbling. And just to everybody that participated in the jam, amazing job. You guys are all awesome.
Yeah. Definitely there's, like Victor mentioned, and then it's there's over 300 games. There's over 350 games that we started with, and it's hard to mention everybody in an hour and a half, while giving, some spotlight to our winners. And so it takes practice, it takes time, but know that by the end of the week or even if you only spend a few days, like you've made progress, you've learned something, you've grown as a developer. And so it's still, hopefully you still had fun and a good experience. And, it's just all about growth and coming together. And so if you've made something, then that's a step further than you were the day before. And so, just be proud of what you've made. We're all excited for you and happy to be here. And
Humbling.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Seeing the amount of work, love, and passion that went into this. And I know how tough those last hours can be when you're running a little sleep, a lot of caffeine, potential feature creep fights, and someone trying to act the producer and put the band hammer down. On the last train jam, we actually had a guy who was like, "I'm just going to be the producer," and I was like, "Wow, this is going to go great." I'd never had that before. It's actually not a bad thing. I'd love to see that more. I do know it's like, oh yeah, we need the artist, we need the audio guy, we need the programmer, we need a designer. But just having someone who is able to take a holistic approach to the project, and that everyone agrees that this is our producer, let's have this person make some of the project management decisions that the people who are in the weeds might not necessarily see. Also, that person would be able to, or should probably do stuff like making the game jam page and uploading the game, and making sure maybe that person will also package builds and playtest the game. It's very much what it looks like in a production setting at a studio, or whether large or small. It's worth to keep repeating that the process and participation in a game jam is very, very similar to what it looks like when you're making games in the real world. It just happens to be that you have between a certain number of hours and a couple of days time, which hopefully you never set off on a project like that, because that they're trying to ship. That's really tough. It's been a blast. Hope everyone out there are staying safe, and that you will participate with us next time, or staying safe so that you can participate with us next time. There will be more contests this year. We have no announcements to make there just yet, but please stay tuned. It's going to be a very exciting year for the Unreal Engine community. We have a couple of unannounced things that will hopefully hit you soon, from the community side of things, but also from the engine side of things. And so, stay tuned. Jesse, anything you wanted to leave chat with?
No, again, just really grateful to be a part of this. Microsoft is relatively new into this whole game stack with Unreal on the VR side and the augmented reality side. So looking forward to being able to participate in the coming years and seeing even more great stuff come out and watching this category grow even more than it already has.
All right. And I think with that, it's time for me to do my little outro spiel. Which is, if this is the first time you're tuning into our channel, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Please do make sure to check out unrealengine.com in case you're interested in what game jams are about. Actually, there's probably about 100 of them being hosted right now in itch.io. So if you want to go do one right now, I'm sure there's a game jam that you can join today.
There's also global game jam going on.
Just started today, I think, didn't it?
I think yesterday. So
yesterday. Okay.
More jams.
I'm looking forward to seeing what that one comes out too. I know a lot of the same people that were in this one are jumping into that one too. So it'll be kind of interesting to see that progression, their iteration as they go into the next jam.
Respectively of the time and energy for that.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's motivating. Everybody said it. I mean, everybody else said it best. It's just being able to dive into these games and knowing as a dev the kind of work that goes into them. It's pretty motivating, humbling, all this stuff.
So much love.
A lot of love.
It's good. We need that though. It's important, in the Zoom world that we all unfortunately live in. Did want to make sure that if you do use Unreal Engine for your global game jam submission, and you upload some footage of development or any other details of your submission, make sure you use the U4 hashtag so that we can see them, check them out. We always follow that hashtag very closely, and it's always exciting to see what happens. If you do stream on Twitch, make sure that you use the Unreal Engine tag that exists now. Couple that with the game development tag as well, and then people who are interested in your development can come check you out on Twitch. Are we able to raid someone today? I know that everyone who usually does this is on the call here.
We could
Let's
find
go ahead
somebody.
and find
if you
out.
have some recommendations.
Yeah, if you have some recommendations,
Let us know.
Let us know. We'll go ahead and throw this party or take this party somewhere else. Once we're done, make sure you follow us on social media for all news Unreal Engine. That is where you will also see, first and foremost, the announcements for our upcoming contests, as well as other engine releases and all of the other news in the Unreal Engine world. We also have a Twitch channel, which if you're on Twitch right now, you know that. We also stream to YouTube most weeks now. We had a little problem last week, but hopefully that should be fixed. We can continue. Our forums, make sure you check them out as well to participate in the discussion. And Unreal Slackers, which I have now been told has finally reached the 50,000 member number, which I was just throwing out for a couple months because I thought that's where they were at. But I can now say it, and it's actually true.
It's official.
It's official. Yeah. Thanks, PFist. Yeah, and it's really amazing that you stuck around with us today and watched us play all of the games. I think with that said, unless anyone has anything else, it is time to wrap this up. Next week, we have Helge and Jeremy on, and they're going to talk about how to animate with Control Rig in 4.26. So this is a little bit of a follow-up of the live stream we did last year. They were sort of showing off the tool when it was still in preview. It is now fully released in full release of 4.26, and they're going to walk you through even more in depth of how you can use Control Rig to animate in Engine, which is super exciting feature that I think and hope that all animators are very excited about. Skipping one tool and just being able to author it right there and make quick little tweaks is very exciting. So I hope you're all excited about that. And with that said, Liam, we're about to cut this off. I want to thank all of you, all the judges that are not on the call right now. And of course, all of the sponsors for participating in what turned out to be an amazing event. Let's wave goodbye. Did we find someone? Are we rating someone?
We'll find somebody.
We'll find someone. Stick around, and we hope you continue to have a good time. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. We will see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.